Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right, this one is called Desperate Measures for Desperate Times. Yes, yes, desperate times, yes. Look, this story took place in the late 80s, I was looking for a job and I I had went out every day every day, putting in applications and having interviews and so forth, but they would never call me back. They would never call me back. And it was getting desperate. I was getting desperate. So I was trying everything, going to factories and stuff like that, trying to secure a job, secure a job so I can take care of my family, okay? But no one would call me back. So, see, I had just got over a back injury at my last job, okay? That kind of left me incapacitated for like 3 months. So, after I got over that, I struck out walking around trying to get jobs and stuff. Then my car went down, and I didn't have money to do the work on my car that needed work. So it was you can see where I was going. I was getting desperate. The money I had to use that for bills, for bills at home and stuff like that, for rent and everything like that. So I didn't have money to fix the car. So I ended up had to hire myself out. Okay, so I went to several places and it didn't work. See, the only thing I had a security license, okay? Security officer license, okay? And it was open for everything. The license that I had me open for everything. And I've never really exercised using it before. I went and took the course, but that was it. Once I passed and got the license, that was it. But I never had used it. So I uh I stopped by this liquor store. It was a liquor store and it was called Astros, okay? And it was in Harvey, Illinois. So you know how bad this it was this liquor store was. This liquor store stayed open until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it had a drive through, okay? So you can imagine the people that was coming through there. So one day I walked over, I was walking past it, and I stopped. I said, let me stop in and just ask him, do he need a security officer? So I walked in and I asked him, I said, hey, how you doing? He said, hey, what's up, man? I said, look, do you need a security officer? He said, security officer? See, they never thought of having security over there. I had to spark his memory up. I had to spark his memory. I said, hey, look, I be seeing a lot of people hanging out in your lot here, and that's bad for business. You want people to buy that stuff and then go home, leave. You don't want people hanging out on your lot like this. You, is that what you want? He said, no, I don't want that. I said, well, I can secure your lot and I can keep this lot just for customers only. Just for customers to come through. And then when the drive through open, no parking. No parking in here at all. You just come through the drive through and go home. And he said, "Oh, okay. Well, how much you talking about?" I said, "Well, I I take $10 an hour." Now look, keep in mind, this was in the 80s, okay? So you can't charge that much, you know. This was in the 80s. So I told him $10 an hour, I'll secure this lot. And then he said, "Okay, well," and he knew it was a lot of drug dealers around there. It was a lot of gang bangers coming through there. It's a lot of people trying to keep up trouble and stuff like that. A lot of them was around there, and I knew this too. But like I said, desperate times, desperate measures for desperate times, man. I had to do something. I had to get some type of job because it was getting down to the wire. You know, my last money was kind of playing out on me, and I wasn't putting money back in. You know, so he went and hired me. He went on ahead and hired me. So, but he put me on for 13 hours. 13 hours. 13 hours Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 13 hours per day. And man, it was terrible. It was terrible. Trying to, you know, just last those hours. But the first day went well. The second day didn't go so well. It was a lot of people out there. This was on a Friday. It was bad out there. It was people hanging around, trying to sell sell stuff to each other and stuff like that. And I had to tell them, "Look, you got to leave the lot. You can go. You can anything you do outside this lot. It's okay with me, as long as you don't do it in this lot. You know." So a couple of people tried to buck up on me and stuff like that, but so I said, "Man, okay." I said, I got to endure this. I got to endure this. You know. So when I first, the thing is, he didn't give me checks. He gave me cash all the time. And keep in mind, he had a lot of cash. He was bringing in a lot of cash because he had a drive-through liquor store. So late at night, people was driving through the drive-through and just buying stuff, and they slide it through this little drawer in the wall. Drawer come out, and he had the liquor in there. You put your money in there, and then you go. This is crazy, ain't it? Well, I think this was around the first time they started doing the drive-through liquor store. But sooner or later, this guy, he was a local drug dealer. His name was Big Reg, okay? Big Reg. And he came up there and he bought liquor and stuff and left. But he used to stop and talk to me every time he come through. He said, "Hey man, look man, look, you need to look. You don't want me none of my people to come up here and on the lot out here. You Why don't you sell, man? I'll give you way more than you getting here. Why don't you sell up here?" And I said, "No, no, no, no." He said, "Yeah, man, I'm telling you, you need to think about it. Man, you can make what you make like in a week, in 2 weeks here, you can make it in a day." And it sound tempting. It did sound tempting. But I said, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. So I told him I'd think about it. But look, it was really getting down to the wire, man. And I was desperate. But when he came back the next night, he said, "Hey, you think about it yet? You think about it yet?" And I told him, nah, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. He said, "Man, well, you gonna continue to struggle. You want to be a fool and struggle? Go ahead and struggle." You know. So it was, man. I was kicking myself for not doing it, but I just couldn't do it. My morals wouldn't let me do it. So I didn't sell for him. But after that, I ended up getting another site. It was a local grocery store called me back, and then after that, then a truck stop called me back, and then another place called me back. So I had 5 places call me back, and I took all the jobs, and I hired other people. I got other people to do those jobs, but they would pay me a percentage of their pay. So it was cool. So I had like 5 other accounts that everybody that was working there, when they got paid, they had to pay me a certain percentage of their pay to me. So that was cool. It was cool for a while. The only thing I had to provide them with is uniforms. So I had to get them a security uniform and stuff, get them what they need and stuff like that. And it was cool. I could have started a security business and stuff like that, but after that, man, I just like I kind of branched off from it. But they still was paying me for a minute. But then after so long, I started saying, "Look, y'all don't have to pay me no more. Y'all take care of yourself. So that's it. So they could take their money and just spend it the way they want to. Which they fell apart when I left. Because they wanted to miss days and everything like that. And I was gone then. When I was gone, I had got a real job. Then, see, I couldn't deal with getting paid cash. I had to get paid checks where they take Social Security and everything out. You know, because with that, I couldn't even file taxes. So, but I'm glad that I had some morals to where I didn't have to stoop that low in order to sell, something illegal, like that. Yep. It was a hard road though, but I came through it. I came through. I made it through. Yeah. Yep. Okay, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share it with your friends. Share my videos with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Peace. Adios. Salamet.
Salamat. You're a nice man.